Hello and welcome to my twin flame journey. I am Shine, and this is going to be the daily drama for Monday, October 16th, I believe. Geez, we're already halfway through the month. Before you know it, it'll be a new year. I switched it up a little bit. On this side, we have what is the current challenge for the masculine, current challenge for the feminine. What do they need? What does the masculine need to do in order to get through this challenge? Same for the feminine. What do they both need to do in order to get through this challenge of separation? And the universe's advice. So I started off with 3 cards across the top. And then for each one, I asked, well, why this? And then I said, well, why this and this? And then I got that. So that's how I'm going to read them. For this last one, instead of just 1 card, 3 came out. So I kept all 3. But let's see what we're starting off with. We got bad news. So this is, again, fearing the worst, fearing bad news. And then you have growth and vulnerable. So the challenge for the masculine is to get over his fears, allow the growth to happen within himself and this union, and to be vulnerable, to open up, to speak a truth, which he's been holding in for a long time. And then I says, well, why bad news? And then we got scandal. So he's fearing the worst again in regards to what transpired in this relationship, or I'm dealing with ending, for the 3-party situations, dealing with ending one so that he can move with the feminine. And then I says, well, why bad news, scandal? And you got surprise. So again, he's fearing communication because of what happened. And fearing getting rejected, fearing the worst, because again, he's been taking too long. And on growth, this is why growth, and you got the master. This is, the challenge is him mastering himself, overcoming the shadow side, overcoming all the stinking thinking, the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the guilt, the this, the that, whatever it is, the feeling inadequate, the feeling like I can't do it, the feeling like all the stuff that you're kicking out is you again blocking yourself and you needing to master that. Now in the weekly reading, the theme for the universe, which seems to be here as well, the message this week that the universe is trying to get to you both is to watch the energy. You're both self-sabotaging this situation. You're self-sabotaging yourself, your own soul's growth. Because one has to happen in order for the other to happen. You need to master thyself in order for the blocks to be removed. And that is what the masculine and feminine don't seem to understand. They play off of each other's energies. One fears they're not coming back. One fears to come back, to make the effort. One can't let go and be in the present moment, still clinging and clinging and clinging, looking up the driveway, waiting for this person. So this person clings and clings and clings and stays where they are, fear of moving forward. So it's like, again, the two play off of each other. That's why the message for the feminine in the weekly one, and also in this one, is for her to focus on herself. You have to let it go and let it flow. That's what the universe is trying to tell both of you. Stop clinging. Stop waiting. Stop holding on. Stop looking up the driveway. Stop sitting at your window. Stop looking and looking and looking. The more you look, the more of that energy of desperation and fear and clinging and anxiety and sadness and not feeling good enough because we didn't get chosen, or that negative self-talk and this side's negative self-talk, of kicking themselves in the butt for what they made. Again, the decisions that they've made, not looking at it all from a spiritual perspective, the forgiving and learning needing to happen, people holding on to resentments, people holding on again to their own guilt and all this stuff, feeling unworthy, afraid to make moves. This one's afraid to let go because they feel like then that makes them feel unworthy. As it again, it's the two of them playing off of the same energy because they're feeding off of each other. And somebody's got to be the balance maker here. Someone has to get that ball rolling, which is why when this separation happened, there was a lesson to be learned. And a lot of the masculines went straight into another karmic situation because they didn't learn the lesson that this relationship should have taught them. And while they've been in this karmic situation, the feminine has been only focused on the masculine. When is he coming back? Is he coming back? Does he love me? Is this, and then not focusing on themselves and not being in the present moment. They're clinging to the past. They're clinging to a person from the past, even though that person has already let go of you and they're with someone else. And what the feminine doesn't understand is the more you cling and create blocks for yourself, not progressing forward for yourself, it's causing this not to come together. And it's causing this one to stay in their stuff. I says, and regardless, doesn't matter if this person is your twin flame, doesn't matter if this person is your soulmate, doesn't matter if this person is Joe Schmo from Idaho. You are not to chase. You are not to be a doormat. You are not to put your life on hold, waiting for someone who's already let go of you. It's about self-worth, self-love, and self-respect. Again, the lesson that the feminine should have learned from this relationship. And if you haven't learned it, even though you're separated because you're still clinging, you're still, you're not addressing your lesson. And that's keeping you stuck. You're supposed to let it go and let it flow. Take this time to work on yourself, evolve in yourself, focus on your career, focus on getting your going to the gym, working out, doing whatever it is, go for walks, whatever you need to do to distract yourself from this direction here. I mean, it's okay to check out the readings. We look at the readings just to kind of get an update, but don't hang on it. Don't hang on. You kind of have to be detached. I want to say like as emotionally detached to the outcome as you can be, because again, we don't know what this person's going to do. So it's okay to peek in, do a quick check. But again, thought and action are two different things. So you cannot sit and wait for this person to take action. You need to be taking your own action and doing you. Let this person grow and evolve or whatever in their own time. And if they do evolve and grow, and then they decide to come to you, because masculine, as I've mentioned before, it's your turn now, you deal with it then. But again, don't be constantly looking up the driveway, because you're putting out that energy of, I'm not good enough on my own. I need this person to complete me. It's a codependent energy. And as you've seen from the Devil card that came out, it's you may think you've learned a lesson because you're not with them. But if you're still clinging and hanging and putting all your value and worth based on if this person chooses you or when they're coming back, you haven't really learned the lesson. And that's why this isn't coming together. And as long as this person stays stuck in their stuff too, stays stuck in codependent situations, they haven't learned the lesson. So the two people aren't learning the lesson, which is why the universe is not bringing this together. The tower happened for a reason, because it was a wake-up call. It knocked down something that wasn't going well, because the two people weren't doing what they needed to do. So the universe came in and said, okay, you go. And you try to figure your stuff out. You try to figure your stuff out. And then if you both can do it, then we'll see if we can try to make some magic and bring this back together. But again, it's doing the work within oneself. It's doing the shadow work. And not waiting for anyone. Not, again, putting our value and our worth based on if this person chooses us. And I says, and it doesn't matter who it is. You think just because it's your twin flame or it's your soulmate, then you have to be some kind of martyr for love and waiting like a damsel in distress, waiting for your knight to come and rescue you while you're sitting up in the tower. You know, you're supposed to be doing your own thing. This person made a choice. That's why they left. That's why this ended. They went with someone else. They chose someone else, or chose just simply not to be with you. And what people have a hard time with when it comes to letting go is accepting that. So they cling because it keeps it alive. It keeps the connection alive. And that's why the feminine fears letting go, because she feels she'll lose the connection. But they said that the more you hold on tight to something, the more it works against you. So that's why the lesson for the feminine is to let it go. Let go and let God. Have faith, but again, don't wait. Or don't even hang your hat on the faith completely, because again, it's free will. One week, one person can be feeling one way, and the next week they feel something else. Don't fake it like pretend like you're going on or whatever, because in the back of your mind, you're still clinging. You still got that. It's like you almost got to wipe them out completely if it's at all possible. Again, try to focus, shift the focus, so that this person doesn't even enter your thoughts. It says, and that's a complete release. But it's hard. But it depends on, too, how long you've been hanging on. Has it been weeks? Has it been months? Has it been a year? At what point are you going to say, you know what? Enough is enough. Like I said, thought and action are two different things. This person can think that they love you all day long, but until they show that, until they make an effort, until they dedicate themselves to that, what good does it do? You can't hang your hat on a thought. You know, so again, don't put yourself on hold waiting for this to manifest. That's the key. That's what the universe is trying to say for the two of you is the key. Letting go of that angst energy and just being present and being in the moment, and try to be happy and joyous and grateful for what you do have, for the relationships that you do have. And I said, why growth the master justice? You know, this is again him needing to master himself so that things can work out the way that he would like, which is to be with the feminine. You know, to get out of his fear. Here you have vulnerable, forgiveness. You know, fear of opening up, asking for forgiveness, expressing how one feels. And you had fair gray-haired man, which is the masculine showing maturity. And you got hope. And you got spiritual. So again, it's like he's blocking himself, living in the fear, living in the woes, instead of getting out of that. But again, it's fear over here and fear over here. Fear to let go and move forward. Both of them. And you had forgiveness here. So again, that's his challenge. To bring this together. Let's see, spiritual. And I have a feeling that this is going, because I did the weekly, and I'm doing this, and it's like the same message, obviously, because we're going day by day by day. The theme of the week is let it go and let it flow, because this is playing a part in the blocks. A lot of it is fear. We fight to hold on and we fight to let go, right? That's that releasing control issues. You know, that was the thing. It's that both of them are trying to control things by clinging and whatever. Spiritual, you got µ. This is to move forward, to move towards, you know, spiritual union. La conversation, it's like needing to have a conversation. So again, masculine, your block is you. This is your challenge to overcome your shadow side, because we were seeing over here dark-haired man, dark-haired woman. It's like both people are in their shadow. It's needing to let that go so you can master yourself and the growth can be had. Now, what does he need to do in order to move through this challenge? Again, stepping out of the fear of rejection. This bad news here. Fear in the worst. You know, and your fear and rejection, and they're feeling rejected. So it's like, again, it's like the same, fearing not being picked, and you're fearing not being picked. It's like, it's the same thing. You're both fearing the same thing. Isn't that funny? But that's how it is. And this is needing to connect with one higher self. I think the feminine got this in her block in the weekly. So that's why I said you're both going through the same thing. And it's so silly. That's why I say when you move past, when you get into the spiritual world and you can look back at your human journey, remember the time when you did that, and remember the time when I did this, and it's like, that's stinking thinking. Us being our own worst enemies. You know, it's just like, but when you're in the 3D, you're not realizing. That's why they keep trying to tell you both to see things from a different perspective, because that helps you to let go of all these things that you're holding on to that's keeping you stuck. And you have abundance here. This is solar plexus chakra. This is all in our thoughts, being in our thoughts. Fears of rejection, insecurity. Again, fear. The masculine is in fear mode. Fear to make a move, and she's fearful of letting go. Meantime, she's waiting for you. So it's crazy. It's feeling insecure. Not like we don't have what it takes, so that we can't make this manifest. So we have too many obstacles in the way. You know, so but think about one of your biggest challenges in life. You know, did you make it through that when you thought that you couldn't? You know, where there's a will, there's a way. Not feeling defeated or, you know, victim mentality. Trying to be positive, hopeful, change fear into hope or drive. You know, to give you drive to really go for what you want. You know, we've all been there. We've had stuff where we were so determined, nothing could stop us. And you got to change that woe-us into determination. You know, and getting out of one's fears. This is how we ground ourselves. This is the root chakra. So you got solar plexus, root chakra, and crown chakra. You need to ground your energy. Get out of your thoughts and connect with your higher self, your intuition, your guidance. What's been leading you? What's been trying to lead you? They won't use me, or they won't pick me. Inspirational message. You don't have to be on the inside track. That's that trying to letting fear of moving forward keep us stuck because we fear what's ahead. We don't know what's ahead. We're like, because we don't know. It's like, well, you don't know unless you ask. You don't know unless you do something. Like, you can sit in a room and think and think and think and think and think, but until you open the door and go outside, you're not going to know what the weather's like. You can sit there and guess. Is it rainy? Is it cloudy? Is it going to be snow? I don't know. Is it windy? I don't know. It might be an earthquake today. I don't know. There might be a tsunami. But it's sitting again. Thoughts. Go outside and see. You know, it's taking that leap of faith. It's having faith. It's trusting the universe and what they're trying to tell you. Ease up on the energies. Key ideas. Others' approval. Unsupportive environment, working alone, arrival of a teacher. Yeah, your higher self. I mentioned that in the weekly for the feminine. When the student is ready, the teacher arrives, right? Am I working with or against my environment? What is the purpose of my present solitude? Like it's taking the broader perspective of our situation and finding out, are we working against ourselves or are we working for ourselves? You know, obviously sitting in the lowest is working against us. You know, taking action is us working for us. Let's see. Abundance. I only seek to give you what you ask for. Inspirational message. Think about your relationship with money. Are you the wise girl or the foolhardy man? Money is naturally attracted towards appreciation and gratitude. And I mentioned this before in the weekly, that is a karmic lesson probably with both or some of you. Could be some past life thing where you need to change your relationship with money. If you've always struggled with money, the more that you think from a place of lack, I never have enough, or I never seem to this, always with the negative, then you'll just get more of that. If you appreciate what you have, you know, I have this, like think of it from a place of abundance and not a place of lack, then you'll attract things to you that are positive than negative. Instead of getting more negative, you get more positive. So it's changing our viewpoint on money. And also I know that for the masculine, probably money is an issue in regards to even wanting to make a move. If they're living at a distance or whatever it is, they just might be having trouble with making money manifest for them so they can feel a little bit more secure to make the move. It's like, why say something unless I know I can go? Like, I'm going to be there next week. Like, so until they have the funds, maybe they're thinking that's why they're sitting in their thoughts and not saying anything, but they don't realize that by doing that, you're showing this person that you're not interested. So again, time waits for no one. So while you're waiting for some money before you say something, this person is moving forward and might not be interested when you finally say, hey, because it could be 6 months from now. You know, so it's like you can't let that fear keep you stuck either. You can still say something and say you're working on this. You know, but I know that for some, it plays a lot into karma and things like that, relationship with money. That's why they want you to both be financially independent and not be codependent. That's been coming up for the masculine. He's in codependent relationships. You know, and not codependent in that regard, I mean by having the female paying for everything while you're making excuses of why you can't contribute to your own share. Like, that's being codependent. If it's 2 people living in a house, 2 people need to be splitting the bills. 50-50. There's no somebody taking care of somebody else who's grown. Like, there's no excuse for that. I see people mowing lawns, selling fruit, doing whatever they got to do, working 3-4 jobs to make money. So there's no really excuse there. That's just wanting to pacify some dysfunction, some karma that needs to be transcended, some karma that revolves around codependency. That's why they want both of them to be financially independent. And then be wary of using your financial situation as an excuse to avoid doing something. See, that's just what I said. See, and I didn't even see this part in there. That's because I got skills, people. I got skills. I got the foresight to see what was coming next. Now, again, fearing because we don't have the money, then I can't say how I feel. I say, no. Let them know you're working on that. You still got to say how you feel again, because weeks and weeks, months and months going by and nothing's changing. This person's going to shut the door while you're waiting for a paycheck. So you better speak up. Okay. Keywords: friendship, wisdom, windfall. Key ideas: abundance through gratitude, releasing regret, being good with money. Yeah, and when you have money, being wise with it is the other thing. Don't splurge, don't make impulsive purchases, don't not think. I know my master was horrible with money. He'd blow through that like I don't know what. And he says, "But that's how I live." Like, well, that's not very wise, because then you got me kicking in for the rest. But that's another tale for another video. So I understand this card. But again, don't use that as an excuse not to say what you got to say. Insecurity. The greatest adversary is the one living inside me. Yep, our own worst enemies. Inspirational message. Miraculous changes lie ahead. Life always takes a turn for the better when we face our demons. Stay on course. Trust that an ally will appear. The gift of adversity is never given without the ability to overcome it. Like, this is your challenge. This is what you signed up for when you were incarnated here. You asked for this class because you knew if you passed this class, you would get a lot of points on your scorecard in as far as your soul's evolution. Like, approach it all as, like, again, school, lessons, graduating, moving on to the next level. Think of it as a video game, or however you got to think of it, but you kind of got to approach it from that viewpoint and know that whatever challenges that are given to you in life, you probably asked for them, or it's karma that's needing to be balanced, but know that if you get through them, abundance awaits you. That's for sure. Keywords are freedom, bravery, and success. Key ideas: being courageous, facing adversity, finding tremendous power within, undervaluing your contribution, undervaluing yourself. And the other thing was finding power within. In the weekly, you had the strength card there. That's finding the willpower and the strength to persevere. So this is what you're needing to work on. Your fears, your insecurities, and letting the fact that you don't seem to have the funds right now keep you from voicing whatever it is you need to voice, or your fear of taking off a mask, admitting your faults, admitting you're sorry, asking for whatever it is. It's like, rip the Band-Aid off already. If you want something, you gotta show that you want it. You gotta show that you want it, and you can't. The more you self-sabotage, you just end up losing out. And then for the feminine, we got destruction, frustration, because the feminine's all on her woes. And then we got greed, because we're all frustrated because you're not getting, you're frustrated because you're not getting what you want, because this is still ended, and you feel like it's the end. And I say, why destruction? You got jealousy here, and waiting for somebody to take off a mask so you can have good fortune. Again, it's waiting. Keep looking up the driveway. Keep looking to see if this person's coming, and it's creating anxiety. I said, because it's throwing you in your shadow side, just like this one's stuff is throwing them in their shadow side. Your frustrations, your inability, what's the word I'm looking for? The impatience. That's why they kept telling you both, be patient, because that feeling of not having patience, wanting to control the when this happens and how this happens, and all of that, it's creating these shadow side blocks. Fears, worries, anxiety, feelings of rejection, feelings of not being good enough. Then we start the negative self-talk, reinforcing those wounds, because this one over here is reinforcing the wound that you've been trying to dodge from through all your relationships, that childhood wound. So in this, you got generosity. Again, frustration and being anxious because you're waiting for somebody to give you something. So they're saying, let it go. Stop waiting. Stop holding on so tight, because the tighter you hold on, the tighter this one holds on to all their junk. And then you got greed, and then you have the lady, which is you needing to use your intuition or not using your intuition. And then we have abundance here, so that you can have everything you want. Right? Right, people? Right? Are you getting to see the synchronicities here? Are you beginning to see the patterns? It's like a puzzle that you got to put together, and you figure out that the important pieces lie within you. You know, that if you just do this or just do that, it changes the whole equation. It changes the whole energy so that it works more in your favor instead of against you. Destruction. Yeah, the end of the relationship. Clinging to the end of the relationship, and it could have ended a year ago, and you're still clinging to it, waiting, looking up the driveway while this person's been off with somebody else. So it's again, you're blocking yourself. You haven't been using this time to your advantage to work on you, to better you. Some of you may have been, you know, but this message is obviously for those who haven't been, who've been in a state of limbo, you know, because they don't feel complete or whole unless they're with another person. And that's the lesson that's needing to be learned here, so that that can be healed and transcended, and they can heal and transcend their stuff, and then you can come together on a more level playing field, so to speak. Jealousy. Jealousy. Yeah, Grand Signore. So waiting for them to take off their mask. bbLÄSSIİGS Signora, this is someone from our past. So again, the masculine, waiting for them, or living in the past. That can stem from holding on to the anger or the resentment still over what transpired. That makes them fearful to come forward because they feel like they're not going to get forgiveness. So that plays a part too. Foolish choices. Waiting for someone to admit that they made foolish choices. Or sitting in our woes, kicking our own selves in the butt because we feel like we made foolish choices. Or maybe it's foolish to keep waiting for this person. Well, yeah, it is. It is foolish because you're keeping your life on hold. So militare on good fortune. You know, trying to strategize a way to have this manifest. Again, not needing to let go of the control issues. You know, well, if I say it this way, or this way, he might get it. So then I can get what I want sooner. I can have it now because I need it now because I can't be without this person. Again, it's trying to control this person's growth process by getting things to happen when you want it, as opposed to you just living your life. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you're at least having the door open for someone new to come in. You know, the universe will always provide. Frustration. No need to worry about that. You might not always get what you want, but you get what you need. Frustration, the Donna Servizio, this is you. Anxiety, you got hope. Because you're feeling hopeless. You know, or you're too in your thoughts, worrying and wondering. The lady, you got ḻŌV𝖺, arrogance, ego. So it's you needing to get out of your own ego too. Keeping ourselves stuck, being in our shadow self. You know, ego in the negative sense being in our shadow self. You needing to use your intuition in regards to the situation and get out of your shadow self so that you can have abundance. You know, this is the challenge. Now, how to get through your challenge? Completion. This is sacral chakra. This is again about letting old things end so that new things can begin. Even if it's with the same person, you got to let go of the old first to embrace the new. Not hanging and clinging and trying to control the wins and the hows and the whats, and to just let it go and let it flow. Let the old cycle complete. And that comes with letting those lessons that needed to be learned on the feminine side too, what we learned about ourselves, what this relationship taught us about ourselves. Are we clingy? Are we doormatty? Are we not happy being by ourselves? Are we not, you know, like it's needing to address those things within us so that that cycle can truly complete and end. Same thing with this side. Learn the lessons, transcend them, evolve, and then this can come together. So, but you got to let things end. The mourning time, you know, if you've been hanging on for 6 months, a year, or even longer, you're clinging way too long. There's a time for mourning, and then there's a time for healing and releasing and moving forward. But you're staying in the mourning period too long. Dissipating, yeah, watching your life pass you by, living in the past, or the shoulda, woulda, couldas, or the what ifs. You know, thinking if you keep hanging on, you're holding the space for that person. But what you're really doing is you're just holding yourself back. If that person's meant to be in that space, they'll find their way back. And if they're not, someone else will find their way there. So we can't just like watch things pass us by without being, again, an active participant in our own life. Same message that has been given to the masculine. And you got another sacral chakra. Passion. You know, follow your passions. Focus on you. What's your career? What are you meant to do? Like, what makes you happy? Live your life. Put your focus into this and not into someone who's not even with you or talking to you. Follow your passions. I said, and what is meant to be in your life will gravitate towards you once you let go of the things that are no longer in your life. Waiting for them to come back. Because who knows if they're going to come back? This person might sit in their thoughts for 20 years. You're going to keep looking up the driveway? Don't, you know, time is something that you can't get back. Remember that. So use your time wisely. And don't give it away in thoughts of somebody who's not thinking about you. Well, they are thinking about you, but they're not taking any action. So, again, it makes no difference. Thought and action are two different things. You can't build a relationship on somebody thinking about a relationship. Someone needs to take an action to show interest. So you can't hang your hat on thoughts. Completion. A life comes to a spectacular close. Inspirational message. This is a reminder to cherish all the beauty in your life, including endings. You know, being present. Still not holding on to a past relationship. Whether it comes back or not is, like I said, let go and let God. Reflect upon your part in history and discover what you value most. Again, looking at our role, looking at our growth. What was our lesson? How can I make myself better? How can I move forward? What makes me happy? Who and what am I investing my time and energy and thoughts and feelings and emotions into? Is it something that's not giving it back to me? Is it something that's in the past? Or am I doing what I can in the moment to ensure I have a brighter future? Personal inquiry. Am I present in the moment? See? Told you. I'm good, people. I'm good. How do I respond to the idea of completion? Again, it's that fear of letting go, because you feel like even keeping the thoughts going, it keeps that relationship alive for you, even though it died a long time ago. But because you keep hanging on to it, it's your way to keep it alive. It's your way to still feel connected. And if you look at it that way, then that is something that you need. That is a lesson for you. Learning how to let go. Again, of something that's let go of you a long time ago. You hold yourself back with that. Honoring your legacy. A natural ending to a grand adventure, a new beginning on the horizon. Like I said, when one door closes, another one opens. And it could be this one reopening, but you're both keeping yourself kind of stuck. A new adventure, honoring those who give to us. Exactly. Give to those that are giving to you. Don't give to those who aren't giving to you. That is a lesson. Self-love, self-respect. Am I receiving what I'm giving, or am I just like throwing a bunch of change down a well and getting nothing on my investment? Like, it's just, you can't, relationships don't work that way. And it's about having dignity and respect for yourself, to not be chasing after something that isn't showing an interest in you, whether they're thinking about that they are or not. Like I said, thought and action are two different things. Keywords: achievement, determination, fulfillment. Do not fear completion. Embrace it. Don't fear letting go, because it's going to free you. It's going to free up that energy, the woes, the negative, the not feeling good enough because we didn't get picked, the feelings of rejection, the feelings of, well, maybe if I did this, and maybe if I did that, or maybe if I say it this way, or maybe whatever, or maybe if I wait for him, he'll decide to, It's all of that stuff. It's like you're tormenting yourself. You're both tormenting yourselves. Let the cycle complete. It's been trying to wrap up for a while, and that's what the universe keeps saying. Watch the energies. Do you in the meantime. Let people come to their own growth and realize it. Watch the energy. You get motivated and start moving, this person will get motivated and start moving. You're sitting in your fears and your anxieties and your worries, this person's going to sit in their fears and their anxieties and worries. So it takes two to tango, people. And we got dissipating. Well, let me read passion since we're in the orange here. Something's going on with my eyesight. Even with my glasses on, I can't see. Getting blurry. I quietly sizzle and shine. Inspirational message. You are correct to feel passionate about your position. Follow your instincts, for you know intuitively what is right for you. That includes what feels right, what feels good. Not putting ourselves in mental situations or emotional situations that make us feel bad. It's like finding a new passion for life, for you. Key idea is following your passion, being authentic, taking a stand for yourself. Yeah, showing that you know what you deserve and what you want, and you won't settle for anything else. Being acknowledged, feeling ostracized by family or friends. Yeah, again, that creates negative thinking. Being emotionally centered. It's a balance. That temperance was up there in the weekly. Strong feminine energy. Yeah, you standing in your power. Queens attract kings. And vice versa. You want to attract pages, immature pages, or flighty Romeo, Casanova knights. It depends on your energy and what you're willing to entertain. And a queen knows her worth, and she will not settle for jokers, gestures, pages, or knights. Kings only need apply. Remember that, ladies. Keywords are passion, bravery, and royalty. Know who you are. Never forget who you are. And you're somebody that deserves love and respect. And don't settle for anything less. And be brave enough to not settle for anything less. And not feel like you need another person to complete you. A happy outcome. Personal inquiry, are my daily actions supporting my real passion? What am I willing to stand for? You know, what are your daily actions? If your daily actions revolve around stressing and worrying and fearing and clinging to this person, then you need to reevaluate how you're expending your energy. What energy are you vibrating at or resonating it in most of the time? And how is that energy playing in your ability to persevere? Is it keeping you stuck? Most likely it is. And it's keeping the both of you stuck. So then we got dissipated. What happened to my music? I am more than I think I am. That's what I said. Know your worth and value. And masculine, same for you. Inspirational message. Beware of being imprisoned by the story you tell. Do you intend to do what you say? Personal inquiry. A lack of planning does not indicate misfortune. Am I doing what I say? Key idea is taking action. You know, being active in one's life, not living in the past. Content to dream, going in circles, those ruminating thoughts. Strong intelligence, making excuses, procrastinating, keeping ourselves stuck, not moving forward because we keep, again, looking up the road, waiting for this person. Keywords, companionship, connection, and assistance. You know, seek the companionship from people that are looking to have your companionship. You know, again, it's being present, appreciating the relationships that are built upon giving and receiving. I said, so then you need to stop giving into this until this starts giving back. And what you both need to do, gain some enlightenment. Okay. Seek out the wisdom. Oh, look at that. I'm telling you, maybe I should play the numbers. I'm on a roll tonight. Enlightenment, wisdom. What have you learned in the situation? Really apply those lessons. Because again, you may think you have learned, but if you find yourself doing exactly what I've been saying during this reading and in the weekly, you haven't really learned. And that's causing a problem for this situation. Vanity, again, and it's ego. Two people needing to get out of themselves, get out of their own way. And complacency. Too much sitting around in the woes, not taking action, doing nothing, living in the past, fear of the future. Not doing anything with ourselves because we're waiting for somebody else. Or not doing what we wanted, you know, not making a move because we're missing a few pieces of the puzzle, and that's keeping us from voicing what we got to voice. But don't do that because, again, you're sabotaging your opportunity or your chance to make this happen the more time you waste being silent or keeping up masks and trying to play like you feel or think something other than you do. Again, you're denying yourself. But that plays on the insecurities that stem from childhood wounding. So let us see enlightenment. One needs to seek enlightenment. Again, seeing things from a different perspective so that we can get out of our own way. If I seek peace, I must embrace my fears. Inspirational message. At this time, your journey is more important than your destination. Remember, if you face your fear, you will grow stronger. Relief awaits. Personal inquiry. My thoughts always drive my choices. How can I use my thoughts to heal myself? Yeah, ruminating thoughts, it only makes you go in circles. And it drives your choice to stay stuck. You know, how can you change those thoughts to give you drive instead of being in fear-based thoughts? Key ideas, path to enlightenment, the reluctant sage, taking time alone to connect, trusting your intuition, needing solitude or time for reflection. Keywords are support, courage, and confidence. Like needing to have the courage and confidence to let it go and let it flow. And then you got, this is also solar plexus, heart chakra, throat chakra, and root chakra. Pretty much, you all need all the chakras. Okay? We all do. Wisdom is the green. Wisdom is knowing the difference between a calculated risk and stupidity. Inspirational message, is there some wise counsel that you have sought only to ignore it? That makes me laugh because people are seeking the guidance from the tarot, and yet they ignore the messages that they get. And that's the universe saying, why are you asking if you're not following the advice? Well, now that's pretty funny. See, the universe has a sense of humor. Are you trying to do things alone? A solution may come from those more experienced than yourself. Yeah, the universe, your spirit guides, they know what you don't. That's why they're trying to guide you. A solution, stay in the present moment and do not let your thoughts jump ahead. That's where that fear and anxiety and whatever. Can't be in the past, can't be in the future, at least not in the negative sense. You know, it's about being present. Personal inquiry, do I go with my heart or against it? You know, you're going against it. Lord, give me strength. Yes. God darn volume shut off. But I didn't move the cards. I usually try to check the last bit of it before I disconnect the hard drive, bring it over to the other computer, upload it up into Windows, do the thing, bring it back over here. Because this is where the Ethernet is connected on my, you know, good thing I check before I unplug or before I move stuff. We're left off on wisdom. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. All I'm saying. I think the last thing I left off on was, do I go with my heart or against it? Am I ready to live in leadership? You know, you're going against your heart if you're living in fear or in the woes. You're not following your heart song. And if you are ready to live in leadership, you know, that comes in again with the role of stepping over the threshold. Once you step over that threshold, you're stepping into the new you, the new and improved, the wiser, the more enlightened, the person that holds himself accountable for their actions, the person that holds other people accountable for their actions. It's letting go of that shadow stuff, letting go of those things that were keeping you stuck the first time around in this relationship, having learned those lessons and stepping into this new role. Key ideas, wise counsel, focused energy, honoring yourself first and foremost, contribution, being chosen, contentment, transformation, being content in the present moment, not being in the woes because you weren't chosen, or fear of rejection, or feeling rejected. You know, being open to transformation, learning the lessons, gaining the enlightenment of what this relationship was supposed to teach you. And then we had vanity. I always think of Denise Matthews when I hear the word vanity. People that know Prince know vanity. Oh, she was beautiful. Such a beautiful, beautiful face. I need more, better, bigger. Yes, that will make me okay. You know, this comes in possibly from the masculine, thinking that because I don't have the money to do what I got to do, I might as well just sit here in my woes and my thoughts and holding in all my feelings because I feel like I don't have what it takes to manifest this anyway, so I might as well just not say anything. But this card was telling you, don't use that as an excuse to not open up, because the truth of the matter is it stems more from just your fear of rejection, feeling insecure, than it is about having the funds at the current moment. You know, don't let that keep you. You know, again, that's all ego, making excuses. Or you may be looking outside of yourself for validation. That comes with codependency. I said this side over here didn't enter into a codependent relationship because they felt secure in themselves. No, they felt insecure, fear of being alone. Or, you know, codependency is many levels. You can be codependent on drugs, alcohol, you know, another person to validate you, to make you feel that you're loved. Even if you're not emotionally invested in that person, just feeding off of that person's love and affection and doting and giving and giving and giving to you, trying to build yourself up, which is what the feminine was doing, jumping through hoops, doing cartwheels, trying to build this person up, all the while you're making yourself smaller and smaller and smaller. And that was your lesson. Now, again, two broken halves don't make a whole. Am I feeling disconnected from any people in my life? Am I growing away from limiting relationships? You should be. You should, you know, especially codependent ones, because that's about as limiting as you can get. It's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you from stepping into your self-sufficiency, your power, your self-love and self-respect, because again, you're dependent on somebody else. And that's not to say that when you're in a relationship with somebody, you know, it's 50-50. You both share the bills. You both share the responsibilities of the house. Not one person doing it all and the other person just laying around doing nothing, sitting in their woes. You know, that's why those kind of situations don't last. Unless you got somebody who's so insecure with themselves that they'll jump through hoops for the rest of their days trying to please you or fill a void in you that can only be filled by you filling in that void. It can't come from outside of oneself. Same for the feminine. Looking up the driveway, then waiting for this person to complete you. It's not about that. You have key ideas, environmental tension. And maybe your environment is you got a little tension in your environment because you're going through all your stuff, your karmic situation. Living in illusions, self-doubt, power to change, knowing that you have the power to change. Not having self-defeatist attitudes. Or making up scenarios or worst case scenarios in our minds, you know, to live in illusions of fearing the worst. Keywords are having faith, awareness, transformation. You know, so you're needing enlightenment, wisdom, letting go of the ego, get out of your woes and you're feeling stuck. Like this is for both of you. Again, because you're both playing off of each other. And then you got complacency. I am feeling the loss of my dreams. Again, instead of you going for her and you going for you, it's sitting in the past, in the regrets, in the sadness, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, the feeling of lack, unworthiness, guilt, sadness, stress, worry, fear, all the stinking thinking. Inspirational message. This is a warning not to give up. Beware of coasting along in a situation that is not what you really want. That's like more for the masculine. Well, actually for both. You know, the masculine staying in a codependent, loveless relationship, just being with someone that's fulfilling a need, filling a void, paying your way, or however your situation is, whatever purpose of serving one's dysfunction that relationship is doing. And then you also have, you know, the feminine coasting along in something that you don't really want. You don't want to be sad. You don't want to be worrying and stressing. You don't want to be feeling like crap, clinging on to the past. So it's you needing to let go too. This is both people needing to let go of things that aren't serving them, that aren't for your highest good. Personal, you'll never be fulfilled by the unmet dreams of others. You know, live for yourself. Personal inquiry, how can I redefine my dreams? How can I stop procrastinating? Key idea is finding self-nourishment, self-love, leaving dreams unrealized. You know, not making any moves because we're thinking of all the negative possibilities. Feeling depleted, you know, it's depression. Lack of motivation, holding back our feelings, keeping ourselves stuck. Keywords are daring, indomitability, and reclamation. Reclaiming one's life, being daring enough to step over that threshold, to step onto our path, to step into a new and improved us, leaving behind all the stuff that don't serve us. And then the universe wants you to have courage. Meet Alice. She is small but brave, jumping headfirst down the rabbit hole. Although the unknown may seem scary and fraught with danger, we should always hold faith in the beautiful possibilities and discoveries awaiting us. True courage is listening to our intuition and moving in the direction of our heart's deepest yearning, even when we are afraid and want to turn back to our comfortable, familiar world. And we want to hold on to the old and familiar, even though we can't stand it. Trust yourself enough to take that leap. And always remember, no matter where you land, the ride will be strange, magnificent, and oh so worth it. You know, have courage. Synchronicity. Meet Lexi. She passed into our world through the divine nexus of a series of unlikely events. She arrives at the precise moment when she is needed most. As if answering a silent prayer, she appears with a perfect and sweet antidote to our fears and struggles. You will not know when she is coming, but when she arrives, your heart will open, the air will sparkle, and your world will awaken with new life. Coincidence? Maybe. A beautiful mystery? Certainly. Watch for her proprints as they glimmer and meander through your life. You know, it's like being open to possibilities, watching the synchronicities unfold. You know, realizing why all things happen. Living and learning. Releasing energies that are keeping us stuck and watching things that will flow to us once we do that. And curiosity. Meet Blaze. With eternal kitten eyes, he experiences each instance of sight, smell, and sensation as if for the very first time. His mind is a delightful question mark. When he meets another kitty, visits an unfamiliar place, or tries something new, his mind is not addled by presumptions and assumptions. He is simply curious and open. Most of all, he is curious about himself. He asks, what am I feeling right now? What do I believe, and why do I believe it? What is my heart trying to tell me? Let's cultivate this playful kitten's curiosity so we may continually learn, evolve, and discover. You know, this is about, again, being open, not living in fear, making presumptions and assumptions, being open, being present. Again, not in the past, not in the future. Focusing on oneself, how you're feeling. What do you want out of life? What makes you happy? What are you working towards to have that? What are you putting your energy and time and focus on? Is it serving you or is it working against you? You know, what is your heart telling you? What is it that you're needing to learn in this situation that maybe you haven't learned that might be holding you back? And it's about continuously learning, evolving, and discovering, because this journey that you are on is about the journey of self-discovery, self-enlightenment, self-love, self-respect, becoming balanced within oneself, you know, from the shadow to the higher self. And so it's all about you. Your relationships help to, you know, chisel away at the statue, but it's still about you. That's why you can't let other people hold you back, waiting for other people. It's about your growth, your evolution, your journey. And those that are meant to walk the path with you will find their way to you. And the higher you vibrate, the more you love yourself, the better your relationships will be. Because you won't resonate with people that are mistreating you or giving you anything less than what you deserve. It's all about the self. And until you heal thyself, any relationship you into, you're coming into it from some kind of broken place. And you might have the tendency to slip into behaviors and patterns of conditioning and karma and stuff because you haven't healed it and transcended it. That's why they're telling you both. Let it go and let it flow. Learn the lessons. Don't be complacent and stuck because you're again putting all your worth and value in someone else choosing you or being with you. It's about finding your own light. And when you find your own light, then you become a beacon for others to find theirs or to find you, ones that resonate at that light. So, on that note, I wish you love and light. I wish you well. I wish you healing. And I wish you luck in regards to this and any situation you might be going through. I just did the weekly. The singles will be up. The whole reason why I do the singles is to help you guys do just what we did here. Find out what's keeping you stuck and how you can move through that, how you can better you, how you can help to heal you. Because once you do that, then you're better for any relationship that you go into. So look for the singles. The monthlies are up. The different signs are up. If you like a personal reading, because remember, these are general, so it can resonate or it can not resonate. If you like a personal reading, on the information that's below. Like, subscribe, and share, please, if you haven't already. And, of course, leave comments, because it's good for you guys to learn from each other. You know, build a little community. And if I see them and I have to I reiterate, you know, I'll give you some advice, too, whatever I can, you know. But I appreciate, you know, when people leave comments. I appreciate when people like. I appreciate when people share, because you're helping to spread the knowledge. And that's why we're here. We're trying to help each other grow. So until next time, my lovelies, take care. Bye-bye.